round match on Monday. 25-23, 21-13. In 34 minutes, that was out on court 2. But a gulf in experience, shall we say. Ratchanok, Intanon, well, she lost in the 3rd round in this event last year, but this year she's had 2 wins already. The Asian Championships, no less, from Wuhan, and the Indonesian Open as well, an arena that she loves to play in. This one won the Super Series premiere here earlier this year. I think it was back in June. Runner-up as well in the Indian Open. So 2 tournament wins for the 5th seed in orange. Let's turn our attention to this young lady. So at the end of 2014, she came twice runner-up in the Turkey International, as she did in the Lagos International as well. Quarter-finalist at White Nights in St. Petersburg, and 5 first-round losses. She's been a bronze medalist in the women's singles event at 2014 European Champs in Kazan, and also took a bronze in the women's doubles European Games in Baku earlier this year. Never met before, these two, so it's going to be a step up, a really tough ask for the Turk, you'd imagine. Turning our attention on to Ratchanok Intanon, seeded 5th. Her career high was 2 in the world just over a year ago, perhaps 18 months ago, back in March. 5'5" tall. Resides in Bangkok. Does the Thai. One of 3 Thai medalists at the World Championship level, and she's the only gold medalist. That was 2 years ago in Guangzhou. There's our umpire, Zheng Sanliang. Looking very contented. And there's the service judge. Well, we said last time it was going to be quite a one-way match, didn't we, when Janno Jorgensen took to the court against a relatively lowly ranked Czech player at 67. Well, this player at 57th ranked. It's going to be interesting how this one unfolds. Well, she's very highly decorated, isn't she, and a real top athlete is Ratchanok Intanon. What do you envisage, Steen? Fairly one-way match, or?
Yeah, I guess we'll see something similar to the previous match. It's a fairly uneven matchup, but of course, you never know what might happen in these World Championships here in
Ladies and
Storosanayan.
gentlemen, on my right, Ratchanok Intanon, Thailand.
Ozge BAYRAK is in this match for the experience,
Razak,
playing
Turkey.
former world champion.
Ratchanok Intanon to serve. Level
To play the semi-final at the European Championships, where she won the first ever medal for Turkish badminton. Against a young Dane at that moment, and quite comfortable win for the Dane at that point. So I have a hard time imagining she's able to put pressure on Ratchanok Intanon.
Just wide with the smash. But I think another of the telling factors is the fact that seemingly the Thai player seems to love playing here, having won the Super Series premiere event here in this stadium.
Yeah, she has some of the skills required to master this hole. Extremely quick on her feet. Fantastic technical skills. Very playful playing style. has so many opportunities
Service over.
to choose from.
2-all.
And that sometimes sort of blocks her own way, that she could play a little bit more efficient. But we saw that in Indonesia Open, the one she won
Out.
here, that she was
Service
actually
over.
employing a little bit
3-2.
more efficient playing style.
So you're saying she has sort of several options, does she? She's a lady of real talent, right? And often perhaps goes for the wrong choice.
Not necessarily the wrong choice. It's just, I think once in a while it's good to play 2 clears and 2 smashes in a row, but once in a while you get the impression that that is too boring for Ratchanok. Good opportunity for BAYRAK to get herself into the game.
It's a well-engineered point from the Turk. She'll be delighted with that.
3-all.
What worries me for the rest of the tournament is that Intanon is carrying quite a heavy strapping on her right knee and right thigh. As always when we see that, we don't really know whether it's just precautionary or it actually has something to do with an injury.
It's obviously troubled her at some stage, and perhaps she's, as you say, sort of just protecting and
4-3.
hoping that a niggle doesn't get any worse, shall we say. Let's hope it is just precautionary.
Service over. 4-all.
Excellent shot. What a touch.
5-4.
The drift just carrying that one well wide in the end.
5-all.
So still nothing between them at the moment, and the young Turk settling nicely out here.
Yeah, she's a very solid player. If the pace goes up, of course, that will be a problem for her, but
Service over.
the pace was just comfortable. It's really solid.
Yeah, neither player's had any runs more than 2 consecutive points at this stage. Still early doors, of course, but no great shakes so far from the 5th seed. She seems very sort of relaxed and chilled out with the way she's playing.
Shot again.
Oh, that's a fabulous point. Tight net shot.
Service over.
Excellent play by Ozge BAYRAK. Definitely something that gives us some confidence.
Service over.
She's done a couple of those
6.
service faults to her frustration.
Play.
Just looks back to her corner. Again, a sense of security you feel from her coach. It's okay, carry on.
Service over, 7-all.
And we know that she loves that slice smash, which is missing on that occasion. Intanon. Great kill.
Service over, 8-7.
Well, given the disparity in ranking of over 50 places, I must admit, a little bit more of a sort of stronger start from the seed. But credit to the young Turk, playing very well. It's almost a replica of the match before in that regard. I know it's still early doors and we're still sort of before even the mid-game interval, but it's,
we're going to see pretty much the same development in these matches where there's such a big gap between the world rankings with the players that are inexperienced at this stage but playing all out because they know that they're up against tough opposition. And that's what the favorites in this tournament has to live with, as in everybody in every other sport, that the underdogs, they are always at their best when you play them.
yeah, you suddenly become the hunted, don't you, rather than the hunter from the seed's perspective. Everyone's out to get you. Good lead from Ratchanok.
11-7 interval.
So, 4 points between them then, as they head towards the mid-game interval. And she certainly looks very, very relaxed and playing within herself as the 5th seed.
She always does. I mean, that's what I love about seeing her play, that she makes it seem so easy, and to me that's the mark of a true master, that they make things seem easy.
Yes, time on the shuttle, I guess. Early perception skills. Like you said initially, exquisite foot speed and movement.
Code 1, 20 seconds. Coach.
So umpire asks the coach to leave, and we're ready to resume. Ratchanok Intanon with a 4-point advantage then in his first game, with a nice languid, relaxed
11-7.
style as always, but
Play.
in control when you feel.
That's a pity. Very nice shot there from BAYRAK, but caught by the side drift.
Yeah, that's 5 in a row then for the seed. Starting to just really get a grip of this one now, you feel. We haven't met before, of course, and as much as your coach has done scouting or you're aware of what your opponent does, there's nothing like being on court against them, obviously. But now she really is settling into her stride and starting to dictate, and we've seen that one several times.
13-7.
It's one of the strengths of her game.
Service over, 8-13.
Good play from Ozge. Just piercing the momentum bubble of her 5th-seeded opponent. she was on top of the net. That really was tougher to miss than make. At least you can see the funny side of it. Look at this, great reflexive skills on defense from Intanon there. Both players in total disbelief at the end of this one.
Ozge.
I think she was actually just making a wild swing into, and I think she's already given up on that one. So far, Ozge BAYRAK here. She's not scored that many points, but she's been able to play well. Get some good rallies going.
Actually, she was on court 1 late last night, playing a women's doubles. Was Ozge BAYRAK with her partner Yijit, and they lost to the Changs from Chinese Taipei. After 49 minutes. Tough, long 3-game encounter. So she's familiar with this sort of situation.
Yeah.
Service over.
She's been on court, but it's also an indicator that there's one level in between these two players, because none of the players that plays the women's singles super series and are regularly quarterfinalists play ladies doubles or even mixed doubles on the side. They're all focusing solely on their women's singles career.
Kind of make that singles push and that singles commitment? Would it be a sort of ranking benchmark that they reach and then they say, do you know what, now I'm 35, 40 in the world, now's the chance to really go for it? Or is it not that simple?
I think it depends a little bit on which country you're from.
17, 10.
In Denmark, there's no one playing singles and doubles. Either you play singles or you play doubles, because they practice
game altogether, right?
They don't practice together, the singles and the doubles, so and you can't. I mean, you can't leave any practice time.
11,
you need to practice single full time to be a competitor.
Understood. Almost different footwork patterns, presumably, and
everything's different.
Yeah,
everything's different.
Doubles, it's all quick fire stuff coming at you, I guess, and singles a lot more leg work, I would imagine.
There are players that have skills in several categories, but they're forced to choose when they sort of decide that they want to dedicate their time to badminton.
12, 17.
Well, the Turkey's not done with this game yet. She's putting up a sterling fight. Won the last 2 points consecutively. Good lead. And you can see that Ozge's trying to force towards the backhand of Ratchanok.
Yeah, that's the safe corner.
Yeah.
Side drift helping. The backhand side of Ratchanok Intanon. That are so lovely to see. The skill and the imagination. perfectly executed. Behind her back.
That was an incredible get, wasn't it? Shows how richly talented she is. Shame we didn't get a look at that on the replay. It's quite something. It's a little bit too greedy, you feel, that return.
19.
That's long.
Service over. 20.
Yeah, the drift carrying that one generates just over a handful of match points then. Game points, beg your pardon, for Ratchanok Intanon here. She only needs one with a very standout feature of her game. That's a cross-court smash. Seals it, 21-14. Looking, as always, ever relaxed. Very, very good. Just 17 minutes played then. Confirmation of the scoreline already. Just one game to the good then, the 5th seed. Making smooth passage through at the moment. And that's not taking anything away from Ozge BAYRAK from Turkey. She's playing well, hitting the shuttle well, moving well, doing all the right things, trying to get into the backhand of Ratchanok. But she's so quick on her feet that it's a rarity that she's playing a backhand. It's going to be interesting how, when they change ends, Steen, what kind of happens and whether it's going to be more difficult to do so.
Yeah, whether it's tactical due to the opponent or it's tactical due to the wind conditions. If it's the wind conditions, then the target now should be the forehand side of Ratchanok Intanon.
And what do you see of this player's future? Do you think she's got a bright future? Or, I mean, still, she's only 20 years of age, 22 in fact, but yet Ratchanok's only 20 herself.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a voiding class between them at the moment, but do you think she can acquire those skills to go on to greater things?
Yeah, she can. Definitely has the possibility. But the question is, will she actually do it? And,
Yeah.
and that's more of a
Second
question mark
game.
in my mind.
The environment.
Assembled. That's a good rally. Well played
Service over.
by
1,
Ozge
2.
BAYRAK. Excellent shot choices throughout this rally. Not trying to hit the baseline with accuracy, with any clears from her own backcourt. Yeah, I can understand why she left that, because
Service over.
Intanon had just played
3,
2 very,
1.
very short clears, and this one was a bit longer, so I understand why she thought it might go out.
Didn't quite get her legs around that one.
4-1. Service over.
The thing about playing
4.
Intanon is that you can't really anticipate. At least it's very, very hard to anticipate where she hits it, because she's got so many different choices, so many deceptions. Her shot looks alike. Her pre-swing routine is almost the same. Played.
It was a great get, wasn't it, from the Turk there? Terrific dig
3,
as she
4.
threw herself dynamically to her left after that tight-angled net shot from Ratchanok. But as you say, it's interesting now, having changed ends, that Ratchanok is aiming for this sort of left-hand corner of the Turk as well. Very respectful of the drift. But as you say, there's no guarantee she can suddenly just flick her wrist at the last moment with the same looking swing and suddenly it's gone the other way. So, yeah, very difficult to read. And she's got that languid, relaxed way about her as well. So it's there's no tension there at all, is there, in the wrist or the hand? So effortless.
Really is the key to a good technique, the ability to
5-3.
adjust your grip with the fingertips. Impossible if you grip your racket too tight.
Good leave.
We see some players, and actually we're going to see Sana Neval next on this court, and she sort of lets go of the grip with the two last fingers, her little finger and a ring finger.
Oh, it's a terrific return of serve.
6-4.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Completely loose. It's and presumably when tension comes, you want to grab the racket a little tighter, right? So it's almost sort of anti-natural.
Yeah, and that's. I think in order to make sure that she has a loose grip, she's in her pre-swing routine, she just lets go of
7-4.
the last two fingers on her grip.
So here's the situation. So here's Ozge BAYRAK, and she's in this situation now, and she's playing at a really high level. And we kind of assume that she'd be playing lights out, really flat out, redlining badminton just to stay with Intanon. But she looks remarkably composed and together. And I kind of think, I mean, I don't know whether you agree, Steen, it's an interesting talking point, though. But if she had more exposure to this level and could get into some of those stronger tournaments and elevate that ranking slightly, she looks like she can live in, yeah, I mean,
4.
I'm saying live in a very loose term, but live in this sort of company with a little bit of training, you'd imagine.
Yeah.
Or is that a bit too generous towards her?
No, I think it definitely is possible, but it's also about, as you said, the environment that you're. If she could practice on a daily basis with some of the regular Super Series players, she would, of course,
9-4.
improve. And what I think she's done really well so far in this match is that she hasn't really gone for the points. She's played with Ratchanok, and thus I think she has a lot to bring back home from this tournament.
And that said, conversely, Ratchanok has won now the last 5 points in a row. And as she did in the first game, starting to really get a grip on this match now as they head towards the interval.
Yeah.
6 in a row.
Yeah, and
it's one thing playing at this level, but it's another thing having to get some wins, because at some stage in the year, of course, it's nice to have that up exposure, but you've got to get that certain amount of wins, which she would have done, presumably, as she has on her results from the Turkey International. You know, she came runner-up there and also Lagos International, so it's just blending that tournament program as well.
But there's one thing that's more worrying for BAYRAK, and that is that the difference between her and Intanon is not 21-14, 11-4. It's much bigger.
Yeah.
Because Intanon is playing at some percentage of her maximum level, and that means that if they were playing for like a refreshment for every point, or even money for every point, the scoreline would be much more in favor of Intanon.
Well worded. Commentated on, had the delight to take a look at Lee Chon-wei as he beat Mark Schwiebler earlier, and it was obvious that he has a very generous physical program, and all of the work that he does just shows in his physicality around the court. You look at someone like Ratchanok Intanon and think, well, actually, she's just a lady of sheer talent and hand skills, but no doubt she also works very hard physically as well, although she just looks so relaxed on court, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's almost a completely different specimen in the way that they approach the game.
All the hard work and the practice has been done prior to this tournament.
Yeah. Almost delightful, but not quite.
12.
It's also when you're able to put that amount of pressure on your opponent, you're capable of anticipating what shots are coming back, because BAYRAK, which is the opponent here, doesn't have a whole lot of possibilities, and we see that as well when Lindan is playing. So much shot quality, so there's not a whole lot of opportunities for his opponent. It's probably only one or two corners he has to cover.
Service over. 7-13.
Gets a little lucky, does BAYRAK. But she's doing well out here. A very decent performance. This should give her a lot of confidence walking away from this match.
It's matches like this that will sort of raise her level compared to the tier of tournaments that she's normally playing. Invaluable experience here.
And I think also as well, she can take a good look in the mirror after this and say, look, do I really want to be a badminton pro? How desperately do I really want to make this happen? Because that's it at the end of the day, isn't it? You can have the program, you can have the environment, but, you know, if she wants, she can create the right environment by moving into one. And it just depends on the desire of the competitor, frankly, as well.
And the resources.
Yeah, of course. More importantly, actually, isn't it?
So it's over. 14-8.
She's so clever with shot 3, isn't she? Behind her serve, the way that she serves high and deep, Ratchanok, and then often follows up very quickly with a short net shot. Oh, and there, the complete opposite. So it's just tough to get a read, as you were saying.
And all the way that looked like a smash.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so versatile. She's in cruise control now, looking very, very good. And this young lady certainly very much up against it. 3 points from the round of 16 then. So multiple match points then.
Service over, 9-20.
Ideally, Ozge BAYRAK would like to get to double figures this game. It's a pride issue, you would imagine. Tell all her friends back home.
Game.
She almost made that. Very gracious handshake between the two of them. But after 32 minutes then, it's Ratchanok, Intanon, safely through to the round of 16, where Linduina Fanetri of Indonesia awaits. It's going to be interesting who the crowd are cheering for on that one, because she's very respected and loved around these parts, isn't she? So gracious, and nothing but admiration for her humility. She wasn't far off making that, you know. Just clipped the top of her frame. A good match. The seed comfortably through. Totally orchestrating affairs in the end. 21-14, 21-9. And that'll bring us up to our 14th match of the day then. Between Saina Nehwal, the second seed from India. She's up against Chung Nyan Yi from Hong Kong. Matches that we've seen so far. Takahashi through, Momota through, both Japanese. Jano Jorgensen, second seed, and the fifth seed in the women's singles safely through as well. So the only seed, court one I can think of that was troubled today and indeed lost was Parupali, the Indian, to the Vietnamese Nguyen. So next up then, last match of the evening, Saina Nehwal, the Indian second seed. That's going to be a treat to watch her. She's up against the Hong Kong player, Chung Gan Yi. Just awaiting our